So keep going with your silly dream by Piter on AO3. This fic may include suicidal thoughts. That is your warning. Chapter 16. I'm Ochako Uraraka. Izuku stared blankly at the heaps of trash, still reeling. He had met one of the most well-known and one of Izuku's personal favorite heroes. And his first thought was to kick him in the nuts. Earlier, he had stopped mid-run and sat himself down atop a washer, the reality of his situation hitting him like a freight train. Kachan was right. Izuku really was a freak. He abruptly stood up, chest tight. Was he dying? Izuku swallowed again, clutching his chest. Poison? Heart attack? Malnutrition catching up to him? He gasped, shutting his eyes tightly. His fingers. He couldn't feel them. He couldn't feel his fingers. Why couldn't he feel his fingers? It was normal when he was fighting and adrenaline kicked in, sure, but why out of nowhere? He felt like he'd collapse, yet simultaneously felt the need to run away. And Izuku did. He sprinted like his tail was on fire. Like Kachan and his friends were chasing him. Like the pro heroes were about to finally catch him. Like criminals were after him. Like he pushed his legs further, willing them to go faster. His breaths came in ragged pans, rather than the measured way he usually attempted to breathe at while running. Izuku didn't stop at the shoreline end, but continued. He weaved through the busy streets, not caring who or what he bumped into. Finally, he burst into a small, American run by the name cafe. He ducked to the side of the entranceway, hunching over with his hands gripping his knees, desperately attempting to catch his breath. He coughed and prayed he wouldn't puke. Hunching over doesn't help. Stand up straight and put your hands on your head, a cheery voice instructed him, gently pressing on Izuku's back until he complied. He forced his eyes open, meeting the brown eyes of the brunette in front of him. She smiled at him, bringing out the pink on her cheeks. She wore a uniform, presumably for the cafe, which Izuku was, oh god, he was making a scene. He'd never recover. I'm so sorry, miss. I had gone running and it's hot out and I ran too much, so I couldn't. How can I make it up? I should just leave. I'm so sorry. Izuku waved wildly as his face flushed. And wow, had his social skills managed to get worse? No, it's okay, really. I'm glad you're feeling better, she reassured him hastily. Why don't you come get some water or something before you go? Oh, yeah, that might be a good idea. His shoulders slumped in relief as he finally stopped making a fool of himself. He took a step forward. He tripped. So much for not embarrassing himself. All that trouble, and he was now dying. No, dead. Izuku was dead. He braced for an impact which never came. He opened his eyes in confusion. He was floating? The brunette girl laughed sheepishly and stood him upright. Release! Sorry for using my quirk on you without permission. I didn't think you'd want to hit the ground after running so much. Oh, it's no problem at all. Thank you. I think I'd actually throw up if I had. I'll stop talking now. Izuku felt his face getting redder from embarrassment. She laughed again, but it didn't sound rude or condescending like Izuku was used to. I'm Ochako Uraka. Shit. Izuku was missing right now. That's what he was. Deku! That's your name? Yep. Uraraka blinked sympathetically. Let's go get your drink. Izuku stood near the counter, ordering both a water and a muffin. Usually he wouldn't waste money, but after all the trouble he'd caused, he could at least order something. So, how's your quirk work? Izuku asked hesitantly. Thankfully, it didn't seem to be a sore subject. It's zero gravity. If I can touch something, I can make it float. She grinned as she set a muffin in front of him. It makes me throw up if I use it too long, though. Wow, that's amazing, Uraraka, Izuku declared, causing the girl in question to grin. That's so versatile. You could use it to move debris, float civilians out, not to mention many villains would be rendered completely useless if they were stranded floating. You could also weaponize debris? I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I started mumbling. I know it's kinda creepy and annoying, and who knows if you even wanted to be a hero. It's fine, Deku. You don't have to apologize so much. I'm glad you think it's cool, and I didn't even think about the last one, and I do want to be a hero, she said determinedly. I'm applying to UA, actually. The entrance exams are in only 5 months away. Gosh! Izuku swallowed a bite of his muffin. That's great! With a quirk like that, I know you can do it. Izuku waited to the side as she helped another customer before making her way back over to him. So, what's your quirk, Deku? He and Kachan had been friends before Izuku's diagnosis, too. Izuku, he enjoyed talking to her. If he told Uraraka, would she? He couldn't risk it. I gotta get going. Sorry for wasting your time. Wait, Deku! It was nice meeting you! Izuku scrambled out of the cafe, muffin and water in a death grip. He quickly ate the rest of it back at the apartment building before sitting up. It was pretty early, as in 7 o'clock early, but most Limelight heroes had gone home by now, so he should be okay. Plus, Izuku had found that slamming a bat into assholes tended to help with the pit of despair crawling at his chest. He took a shortcut through the back alleys he'd begun to grow familiar with and began his patrol. That's the end of Chapter 6 of So Keep On Going With Your Silly Dream by Piter on AO3. On to the next chapter. Chapter 17, Yahoo X Text to Voice. At the club. Not clickbait. It was 12:07 a.m. Izuku hadn't encountered a single thug, not in the 5 hours he'd been patrolling. No matter how many alleys or corners he checked, nothing. It was quiet. It was never quiet in this part of the city. Izuku took a small breath. Hidden next to a dumpster, what were the chances a hero would even check there? Another odd thing was the animals. In the time as Yahoo, almost 6 months now, this alley had been crawling with stray cats. In fact, that was why he'd chosen here specifically. Oddly enough, all the cats had hidden themselves away. None of it was right. He stayed anyways, since he kept a small bag of clothes stashed in a nook in the wall, which Izuku had admittedly cut out himself. It was his failsafe if he couldn't make it back to his house in time and needed to make a quick change. All he'd have to do was wiggle behind the dumpster and he was a new man. The cats let out another yowl. It sounded stressed. Izuku had a bubbling feeling of dread in his chest, but he didn't freak out. He knew that, above all else, heroes and vigilantes both need to stay calm to be effective. He fiddled with his burner phone he'd bought for $15, a hell of a deal. He's put in his previous contacts. It wasn't like he bought his old phone with him, since the police could easily track it. So he'd wrote down all of his old contacts, aka his mom, Bakugo, and Shinso, on a slip of paper and took it with him. The issue was that he spent money as an unemployed runaway with a gym membership and new food items he'd bought. Izuku was going to need to find a job somewhere soon. He gently clicked his tongue, attempting to coax one of the cats out of hiding. It's unsuccessful. He stood back up, dusting himself, and turned to his right to leave the alley. He needed to stop jinxing himself. He stared blankly at a blonde man. He had long blonde hair and simply wore a black sweatshirt and jeans. The glasses were what made him recognizable. Plus the mustache, of course. Hey, listener! I think I gave you the wrong impression and a spook. Yeah, yesterday? Huh, Mike asked, shooting him a cheery grin, before he held out the one thing Izuku could never refuse: McDonald's. The pro-hero strutted forwards, pausing when Izuku defensively grabbed his bat. He paused at the mouth of the alley, setting the bag of food and the drink next to him. Slowly and hesitantly, Izuku sunk next to him, just out of arm's reach. Mike slid the items closer until Izuku finally reached out. The vigilante took a slow, tentative sip of the Sprite. Slipping the straw beneath his mask, he decided to let it settle to assure it wasn't poisoned or something. So, Yahoo! I have to tell you, kicking me in the jewels? Not cool or hip. Izuku choked on a fry, flushing. He didn't speak, but bowed several times to convey his apology. To his shock, the blond man actually chuckled, no anger evident in his expression. No problem. Let's just not repeat it, yeah? Izuku nodded. You don't talk then? Izuku shook his head in agreement before practically sobbing at the sight of his beloved spicy McCrispy. He turned away from Mike to take a bite, receiving a horrified look when he turned back. You ate like half of that in a bite. Izuku nodded smugly. He became pretty good at eating on the go between vigilantism and eating before Kachan blew up his food. He was a cafeteria speed eater. Maybe not so much with manners, though. He was technically homeless. He didn't have to worry about that. You know, Eraserhead likes you. I don't even think he tries to arrest you anymore, Mike snorts. Izuku stared with wide eyes before he sniffled. Eraserhead likes me? Are you crying again? Izuku desperately shook his head despite his shaking shoulders. Okay. I also came here because, as someone close to him, it's my duty to protect what he gets attached to. Izuku cocked his head in confusion, waiting for Mike to continue. Which is why I'm warning you. The Hero Commission and police are gonna send more than just Eraser. You just be careful, yeah? You have a lot of people on your trail. Izuku nodded, worry gnawing at his gut. Nothing was going right. The cat was still meowing, but refused to come out. What was going on with the cats? Hell, and dogs too. He needed to focus on the fact he was about to get hunted by a pro, one that was most likely a lot more enthusiastic about getting rid of vigilantes. I should probably go before Eraserhead catches me being buddies with his target. See ya on the flip side. Mike pointed finger guns at him. Before he stood up, Izuku quickly followed suit. He didn't ask for anything, didn't try to catch Izuku. He fed him, he warned him. Izuku thought that had to be worth something. Mike began to leave. "Thank you, sir," Izuku squeaked out, voice cracking from nerves and an octave higher than normal. Before sprinting away, he didn't look back. He kept it off his mind until a particularly active street hindered his ability to cut through unnoticed. Ultimately, he decided to just wait a few minutes before he began searching side streets for drunk folk. Damn clubs. It was 2 a.m. now. Aside from a single robbery by a man who didn't even have a quirk for Izuku to analyze, there had been nothing. Izuku hated it, as bad as that sounded. He was glad people weren't getting hurt, but an eerie aura filled the streets. Izuku couldn't relax, so he just walked, ran, tried to parkour a little. Emphasize on tried. He groaned at the third yawn in the past 20 minutes. Maybe he should be getting back to the apartment. That was when the ground began to shake. It was an earthquake, one that lasted roughly 4 minutes. Izuku had pressed himself against the concrete wall of a building, crouched with his hands defending his head and neck. When it had gone from rattling shakes that knocked Izuku off his feet to mere tremors, he jolted back to his feet. He froze in horror. Around him, and that was only his line of view, he could see whole buildings that had collapsed. He could hear screams, so many screams. He looked at the club, the one that had been full of people. Desperately, people clawed at the rubble, trying to free those inside. It would be risky to help. Heroes would be helping with rescuing civilians, and Izuku would be sought after. But damn it, wasn't this all so he could save people? Izuku rushed forward without thinking, the ache in his legs reminding him of Uraraka, a girl whose quirk would be damn useful right now. He shoved past the crowd and knocked some drunk guy to the side. He could hear yelling and hysterical crying inside from a small hole in the rubble. Izuku could work with that. He rushed over to an alley, quickly returning with a crowbar. Izuku jammed it into some of the rubble before putting his total weight against it. He grunted as the hole was wide enough for Izuku to fit inside. "Wait! Yahoo, sir!" a man called out before holding out a flashlight. "Take it. The power's knocked out in there." To Izuku's surprise, a number of civilians passed it up before giving him space. Somehow, it made him feel better, stronger, or maybe Uplifted would be the better word. Izuku looked back at the civilians, swallowing hard before diving inside. The club was a damn mess. People attempted to illuminate it with dim phones. He could see people trapped under rubble. It smelled of blood and alcohol. He flicked the flashlight on, holding it high, and banged the crowbar against a metal stool in an effort to grab everyone's attention without using his voice. The banging echoed through the club until a tense silence hung in the air. Oh shit. What now? Hey, I know him. That's Yahoo! Who? He's the vigilante. He'll help us. Yeah. Thank God. Before the muttering could get too out of hand, the vigilante hit the stool again. He pointed up at the exit he made, gesturing to it with the flashlight. Fuck's he saying? A man jeered, clearly drunk. He's showing us a way out, fucking dumbass. Jesus, I wish you'd died in the earthquake. Someone answered, equally wasted. Kill yourself. Izuku shook the image of Kachan out of his head at the last comment. Shut the hell up for all of us, a woman claimed from the back. Yahoo, sir, a lot of us are hurt and trapped. Izuku scratched the back of his head. Someone tapped his shoulder and handed him a phone and, text to voice. Perfect. Izuku began to rapidly type before cranking the phone to max volume. If you can leave, the building is very unstable. Only stay if you know someone heavily injured or can help move people out. Please leave orderly, or I will hit you with a crowbar. Izuku winced as the robotic voice spoke, not portraying his light-hearted tone. I was joking. A few people let out a hysterical chuckle before a few brave souls began to evacuate. Everyone else carefully filed out in suit. Izuku practically deflated in relief as his entrance holds. Time blurred together in a mix of stale air, humidity, and blood, plus physically carrying people. He's covered in juices and he did not like it. One day, someone at the laundromat is going to actually report him. Izuku wiped the sweat at his brow with his forearm and some of the dust off the lenses of his goggles. He climbed out after the last civilian, carrying 2 more on his back. Some kind soul had made his hole in the rubble bigger, so moving people out was easier. As he laid them down and prepared to leave, he heard them. The whole crowd was cheering for him. They were cheering for for Yahoo. Run, Yahoo! The heroes are here! It's Kami Woods! Thank fuck for vigilantes! No one else gives a shit about down here! The wasted blonde man snorted, rolling his eyes. Shut the fuck up! Oh my god! Make me! Fine! Izuku flushed as they began making out, taking that as his sign to scram. He scampered off, cheers still ringing in his ears. But he wouldn't go home. Not yet. There was an earthquake. The heroes and civilians alike needed all the help they could get, and Izuku would help. He sprung out of an alley, rushing to another building. Heat. Unbelievable heat that missed Izuku by a hair. He felt goosebumps go down his arms before a fist suddenly slammed into his gut. Izuku choked, regurgitating the spicy McCrispy before he was sailing backwards. He went through a wall of a practically demolished building, Apparently, not much more was needed for it to crumble. As concrete and wood and who knows what else rained down on him, he realized he wasn't hot anymore. That was weird. Slowly, he let his eyes slide shut. Instead of crashes and thumps, he imagined his mom humming as she fixed him's katsudan. He imagined him and Kachan up far later than any 4-year-old should be, embracing one another as family. He imagined All Might movies and playing heroes versus villains. Oh, was Izuku going to die here? Did he really care? And that was the end of chapter 17 of So Keep On Going With Your Silly Dream by Piter on AO3. Hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please support the author